6 o'clock, August 27th, 2020. Normally I would ask Patty to take the roll.
I'll take it, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
Charlotte DeMolay, she's not here yet online. Captain Zabel is not going to be here tonight. Kathleen Glazer, I know you're here.
Unmute yourself.
Here. Sorry.
Rob Reesberg,
Here.
Tony Gatliff,
Here.
Dave Gaddis,
Here.
and Leslie.
Here.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. First thing is the approval of the August 13th meeting minutes. Any motions to change, motions for approval?
Look good to me. I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
Okay,
Charlotte's there.
discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving?
Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Okay, so we move on. This being our last committee meeting before we present our report to the city council, I want to thank everybody for all the stuff you've done. I love the report that Rob, I think you wrote.
Yes.
It looks really good. Has everyone had a chance to go through all of the stuff we've gotten in various pieces of email? Any questions or comments on the Bel Air Beach Communications Ad Hoc Committee report to the City Council? Suggested changes.
I had questions. Did everyone get a chance to read the little blurb about lowering your expectations on metrics?
Is this the one that said a realistic approach to communication metrics? Was that what it said at the top?
Correct.
Okay, yes.
That sound reasonable?
I think it did. Yeah.
I'm just looking, Dave, was that the document you sent?
Yeah, it was a Word document, and it wasn't all the different services. I know that was a big cluster mess, but basically this document called A Realistic Approach to Communication Metrics in Bel Air Beach, and above it it starts with item C on the deliverables.
Yeah, that's what I used to pull into the report. Did I capture it all properly, or did I leave something out?
Okay, so am I looking at the latest? What I'm looking at is what was attached, and it showed where it was to be written by me, but I haven't seen it where it was compiled.
This was item 4 in the report, right, Dave?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Lynn sent. What I did was when I got all of your stuff, I pulled it into the appropriate spots into the report, and then Lynn sent that out yesterday.
Yeah.
So you should have gotten a copy, an updated copy, version 2 of it. I think was dated the 25th when I did it, where I took all that you had provided and pulled it into the thing. So I was hoping that I did that correctly. It also, what Lynn sent out yesterday I took the report and created some summary slides that if we want to use those to present to the council.
But you know what? I see it now. For some reason, that thing was in my junk folder. But yep, now I've got it.
Don't take it personal, Rob.
Yeah.
Well, it came from Lynn, so I don't take it personally.
I mean, I thought that this realistic approach to communication metrics that Dave put through should go into item number 4 on the report to the city council. That was how I interpreted that. Is that where you intended that to go, David?
Yes.
And that's where I put it. I put it there in paragraph 4.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Yeah.
Starts on page 5.
I'd try to change it, but I'd screw up my entire system and I'd be out of this meeting. But
And then Dave, as I pulled that in, I just, and you'll see them in red if you look at that document, I had a couple of recommended modifications. Nothing big, just kind of happy to glad.
All right.
okay. I think, with whatever modifications we're going to put into the metrics to determine how successful we were, that goes in there. And then this report that goes to the city council looks wonderful. The issue that seems to be open now is the quote postcard unquote, whether it's a postcard, whether it's a letter that we send out that we fold in 3, and send it out. It's looking more like it's bigger than a postcard, and how we refer to residents, property owners, community.
So what I did is I took, there were a few different ideas on how to do it.
Okay.
And so instead of trying to merge them into one, I went ahead and tried to set up each one the way that they thought that it should read. And my thought is, why not present all the options to the council? Let the council decide, what they want it to look like, because there are a couple of different ideas. It all boils down to roughly the same thing, just some different thoughts on either how to refer to the community or residents or owners and just defining what we're trying to do a little bit better for them. And hopefully I was successful.
Tony, is this something you sent out in a revised
Yeah, I
postcard?
sent it out. I sent it into Patty, and Lynn got it. And I believe that Lynn then attached it to that email that went out. Did he to the email yesterday? I'm looking.
Was that the one where we got 4 different versions of the same thing?
Yes, correct.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
No, that is correct. And I'm not sure if the PDFs, when they were sent out to you, but I named them like Rob, or Kathleen or Charlotte, so we could identify, whose version, for lack of a better word, it would be. But yeah, so rather, I think it'd be difficult for us to try to, if we try to compile all those into one, that what used to be a postcard turned it into a letter will turn into a 2-page document. So
I think
anyway.
more than likely the council is just going to look at all the examples and go, yes, I like this idea, and then hand it right back to Lynn.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
And I have all.
Does that sound about right, Lynn?
Yeah.
It's all going to end up on your.
And I have all the different versions in Publisher, Lynn, so I can forward that to you if that helps whoever works with your stuff, because I'm sure it needs to be refined. because I'm not the publisher expert.
The good news is no matter which one they pick, they all achieve the same goal.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm looking at the draft report to the communications committee. It's on page 3A. Send a letter postcard to every resident / property owner. You know, because some people don't.
Not
live-
everybody lives here, yeah, and
Yeah.
not everybody that's a resident is an owner. So, yeah, I think we kind of covered that before, that we need to notify everybody. And who is that young man? Yeah,
That's Kyle. He's our community services director, and he's in charge of this meeting, not me.
He's Patty for the week. Right?
Patty, she's got a new wig on.
He's a good guy. Okay, so maybe we present several options of the various postcard letter formats to the city council and go,
yeah, pick
you
one.
pick one.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. The only thing that we do need to add to that, we need to add a notation that any information that's given on this form is subject to public records, because that is important for them, you know, to know that if they're
Yeah.
giving us this information, then it becomes a public record and anyone can get it.
There is room for a line or two without moving too many things around, Lynn.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm reading this 3A in the report, going, possible formats and examples for this letter are at attachment 3. And so we've got, you know, several different versions of, you know, how they want to define residents, property owners, whatever. So we can throw several or all of the examples that we've put forth, along with, as Lynn just mentioned, the disclaimer, I guess, saying it's public records.
Yeah, and I can add that to the bottom without it affecting the body of the rest of them, the rest of the thing, and I'll get that to Lynn.
Okay, sounds good.
Hey, Lynn, when you get a chance, though, if you could email the exact verbiage you want on there, it'd be
I
great.
will. I
Thank
will.
you.
Like I said, we have several different versions of, you know, how we're going to refer to people, so we can give those all to city council and say, you know, how you want it, community, residents, property owners, whatever you want to call them. Okay?
Okay.
What else?
Were there any other changes to the base report that you wanted me to make? I got the two, Leslie, you just said in paragraph 3A, resident / property owner.
Yeah.
And then that last sentence, potential formats and examples are at attachment 3.
Yes.
Yep.
And then we'll have to change all those potential formats, examples to include the disclaimer, the public records thing, just to.
Right, and just in 3B, the comment about the elections office are really doesn't pertain to this. It's because the property owners are there, and then we've got the base mailing addresses. So somehow we're going to have to separate out the ones that don't live here out of the tax collector, but the supervisor election stuff really has nothing to do with it.
Can you modify that as to who we get the information from?
Yeah, it's the Pinellas County property appraiser. That's who it comes from.
Not the tax.
So not the tax collector or the supervisor of elections?
Right.
Okay. I thought there were two sources that we had discussed about and merging them. That's why I thought.
Well, it's part of the thing. The supervisor elections, they would have to be a resident. Well, for us, we don't know if we're going to mail to the residences, which we will do, and then we're going to have to separate the people that don't live here with, out. If the address in the tax appraiser is not Bel Air Beach, then we'll have to send a separate mailing to them. And some of those homes may end up getting two, because if we mail it just as a generic to the residents, which we would do to every address, and we've got that list already set up, then there's a possibility they could end up with two of them, because
They're also
they have a mailing address that's somewhere else for their
Correct.
taxes.
right, but they live in the house.
They might live in the house,
Right.
and
Yeah, the tax bill goes elsewhere.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So those people will get a duplicate, but we've got all the addresses for the city, so we'll send to that. And another little bit of an issue is the condos, because a good majority of them are rental properties, and they don't live there; they live somewhere else. So that person,
Wait, they live somewhere else. You're talking the owner?
yeah.
Okay. But if there's somebody in the condo that lives there full time and is a resident, as opposed to somebody who's just renting it for the winter, you know what I mean?
Yeah. See, as an example, and I'm going to use a condo that I know is pretty much short-term, weekly rentals all the time. 2800 Gulf Boulevard. It's got like 7 units in it. Well, the owners aren't in any of them. They're all rental properties. And, we know that for a fact, but those people that, if they even get mail there, I don't know, but we'll have to work that out with the people that actually own it that live somewhere else. They might live in Tampa. They might live
So
somewhere
then,
else.
would we get that their address from the appraisers?
Yeah.
Because the appraiser will show that, right, the legal description, the address of the property, as well as the mailing address for the tax bill.
Right.
So,
Right. But somebody staying in that unit may not
Right.
even be a resident,
correct.
Yeah, they're like a short term.
Yeah.
What would be the downside of, besides just the extra cost of sending? to
No,
that-
I'm not saying. I'm just trying to explain that
It's
we're
not
probably
perfect.
not going to get a response from a person that
Right.
rents for a week, a couple days.
Okay, I would say the bad news is that we do get a response if they're there for a week and they get the mail and it says resident and they go, shoot, I'm filling this thing out. I have no stake in this. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think that's an issue, because we will go back with a duplication. That's the benefit of getting that information about where they live, because then that will tell us. And if we get two for the same address, then we can go to the property appraiser and say, this is from the owner, this is from some guy that rented it, that's
Right.
here for a couple days. So we'll work that out.
Okay.
And whether they're there for 2 weeks or a month or a year, even those that are there that have an annual lease,
They
so
Right.
it's the same, it's no different.
right.
Okay. All right.
I think
Anything
you
else?
did a great job here, Rob.
Yeah.
I do.
thank you.
And Dave, all that stuff
I
you sent
agree.
us. I mean, this is, you guys spent some time on it. And Tony, now that I know you're a publisher guy, we'll be bringing it.
Yeah.
What do you publish, Tony?
I publish postcards and letters now.
Okay. All right. Good.
Oh, we picked the right guy for that one.
Okay.
So, Dave, have you had a chance to look at paragraph 4? Did I accurately capture what you wanted in there?
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to kill my video. I don't know what's going on here. My bandwidth is terrible today. Was that a question for me?
Oh,
Yes, I was wondering if you
here's
had a
the
chance.
deliverables.
chance to look
I
at it.
just scanned through it, and
Okay.
and it looks good. And
Okay.
yep, thanks for correcting my grammatic failures.
Believe me, when Mr. Gates put spell check and grammar check into Microsoft Word, he saved me all kinds of heartache. Anything else on the base report that we want to change?
No, I think it looks great. We just need to merge a couple things in there.
Okay. Then,
Okay. So I saw that you left a placeholder for the system for whenever we go back and then we start having the meetings in City Hall. And so far, and what I've found is that there's no perfect system that's within our price range. Also, that system, no matter what, requires 2 people to operate it. You have to have the meeting moderator, which is what Kyle is doing for us today, and then you have the camera operator. Even with an affordable camera system like what I purchased, or not, well, I actually did purchase the system for where I work at. We discovered that, as Lynn said, it only has a limited range that it can capture. However, the microphone is incredible on the system. So if we just wanted to show the entire front of the room and rely on the microphones, it's still a win. And you would capture, you wouldn't have close-ups like what we have now, but you would capture the entire meeting room and everyone that's speaking. And as far as the audio, I think the audio of that Logitech system is probably the most superior audio capture I've ever seen. It allows you to stack up to 7 microphones. So even though everyone would not have a dedicated microphone, you daisy chain them, and the end one would probably be at the guest podium, so that no matter what, you're always picking up everyone that's speaking, either at the podium or on the in the council seating. Also, that same microphone array can be moved around. You're just limited to the length of cable. And so we've got a giant horseshoe in our meeting room of tables, and it probably equals about maybe 45 feet of coverage if you line up everybody end to end. And we've tested it in a few of these meetings, and it works perfectly. It's just that you can't get the camera to capture everybody simultaneously. It does a decent job, but the workaround for that would be possibly to have a second camera, but that also makes things a little more difficult. So if you want to go fully automated, I still recommend the Logitech system, and then that would only require the one person to moderate the meeting for call-in citizen comments.
So do we want to leave then that recommendation in the report on paragraph 3I, where it talks about purchasing some kind of updated system?
Yeah, if you want to take that section completely out, we've had this conversation with the council several times, and they have all the literature on that system. I think basically what they need is they need a trial run to see how it actually works, and then they could determine that's about a $6,000 system. it just goes up from there. So, you know, if you want if we want to make it to where we can have the regular council venue, but everyone is heard and seen up close, you either have to, you probably are going to have somebody to actually operate the camera if you want up close shots of people. As a group, it'll be fine. So I'm sure that after the presentation, we'll have the conversation about, do we actually want to go forward with you know, a nice video system.
I was just looking at the draft report. On page 4, we end up with FGH, and then we go back to GHI. At the bottom of page 4, it goes back to G, and then we do HI again. You see what I'm looking at? On page 4 of the Communications Ad Hoc Committee report to City Council. We have to publicize and encourage the city's residents to sign up and get alert Pinellas, then hold town hall meetings. That's G and that's H.
Yep.
And then G is draft.
Yep, I see.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep. Easy fix. So,
Which is I, J, K.
right, but we want now, based on what Dave said, do we want to delete paragraph K, what would become paragraph K, about purchasing the updated audio visual system? It sounds like that's what.
I would think so. And you would also take out attachment 6 entirely.
Right.
Or how about consider? And updated audio, I don't know.
We would love to have it. We just, I just haven't found one that's in the Bel Air Beach price range, because we're such a small town.
Yeah.
And we have such a limited budget.
Good point.
Okay.
Take out the purchase and updated audio visual system totally?
I think it's something
agree.
that will come up anyway. If we include it in this report, I just don't have the system that I would stand behind at this time.
How about consider an updated audio visual system?
That would be fine. I would still take out attachment 6 entirely.
Okay.
That was the information about potential audio visual systems is in attachment 5.
Well, it should be 6, but I agree with Dave. If we just say consider, like you said, purchasing, we just scratch that whole piece about there's information in the attachment, especially since the council already has it.
Okay, got it.
Anything else?
Comments? Kathleen, you're very quiet. That's a good thing. Charlotte?
Oh, it came together really well.
Yeah. Well, okay, I think, you know,
Hey,
well,
did you get a chance to see how, when I pulled the information about the Constant Contact and ClickSend and a couple other things, tips for Facebook, how I pulled that into the attachment? Does that come out okay?
It looked great.
yeah,
Basically, you know, that information was taken right from web pages.
Yeah.
And they'll get the point.
Okay.
okay.
And then if we're good with all that, did anybody get a chance to look? I don't even know if when you present this to the council, you want to have a few slides to show them up on the screens. Dave, you can kind of tell us, does that work or not? I've been there when in the chamber when they've had some presentations like that, and it seemed to make it a little bit better.
Well, as far as the external systems, lot of that has already been discussed because of the updates that we've given them periodically. Leslie would give an update and then we would discuss it in a work session. So most of those external systems, I would say that they're aware of. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea just to give the same slides that the presenter is going to use so that they can follow along.
I would think particularly the recommended communication strategy spreadsheet. I mean, that's a perfect slide.
Yep. I mean, bear in mind, it's going to be another virtual meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And so there's nothing to put on a TV.
You're right. Okay. So forget that.
But you're using Zoom for that, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That's actually, I think, pushing those slides. You can do that on Zoom, can't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Makes it actually easier to see than it would in the council chamber.
Okay, I mean, they'll have this very large packet in their council agenda packet.
What they're going to care about is the overview.
Yeah.
That's probably all they're going to want to hear and discuss, and then they'll take this packet. They'll take this packet and digest it later. So.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I think if you created something with just some bullet points from the report, just did that, and then tell them, they can read further into it. I think that would simplify it.
Yeah, that's what I tried to do with that slide thing that you sent out to everybody yesterday.
Yep, and that's the one.
Email yesterday.
This is the one that is the report. Let's see.
It's called the CHAC
report presentation.
Yeah, it's a hand. I mean, if you take out the intro slide and the one that says questions at the end,
Yeah.
it's just a handful of slides to kind of summarize the report. That's what I was looking at.
That's what I believe that all they need.
Okay, I will take a look at that.
That go out to everyone?
Did you not get it, Charlotte, either, or did I?
No, I got all the other updates, with the updates and the letters and stuff, but I don't have a presentation.
From yesterday,
Mm-mm.
it's the 6th attachment, CACH report presentation.
Oh, yeah, scroll down. I've got it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We'll put that together and get this to Lynn, to Patty, everybody for a final blessing and with the changes, and we will the council meeting on the 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever it is.
Ninth.
Okay. I guess
So
it's still going to be virtual, right?
Yes.
yes, it'll be virtual. So here's my recommendations. Rob's going to make the changes. It doesn't look like it's a whole lot. By the way, great job, Rob. This is awesome. I'm thinking that unless there's just something terrible that comes out in the final version, we should just be able to read it and accept that this is what it is. If anyone finds anything that they wholeheartedly disagree with and they feel like it's a showstopper, well, then they need to contact Lynn and schedule one more meeting. And at this time, I don't see a need to do that. I believe that what we have is pretty much complete. But what's everyone else's thoughts on this?
I totally agree.
Yep, I do too.
Yep. I agree, and I'm holding next Thursday at 6 o'clock open just in case somebody does see something that we need to get back together on.
Necessary.
But I agree.
Other than a typo or something.
That's good.
Okay.
So
Well, I
should
hope
we,
you don't have to do that because the packet stuff has to be in by Wednesday. So
So is Patty coming back
Monday.
Monday? Okay. I'm trying to think. This is not yet Labor Day.
No.
It's a week away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll get everything to Patty. She'll put it all together, send it out to have for everybody's blessing, you know, other than a typo or something, and we'll go with it. Does that work?
Yep.
Yep.
I'll make these fixes this evening and send them to Lynn and Patty for distribution.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll send it out tomorrow if I get it from Rob.
Okay. Thank you very
Lynn,
much.
Lynn, if you could send me that verbiage
Yes,
for
I'll do that
for the
too.
lesson tonight, then I can knock it out tonight also.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
Should
all
we,
you'll have to do is attach the those multiple examples of the letter
Right.
Yeah.
to attachment 3. I'll just leave attachment 3 right here. So you see attached.
And change it to attached are possible examples as opposed to here's what we're sending.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Kyle,
should we
you got
agree
anything?
upon a,
Say that
should we
again.
agree upon a date? If we have to meet, should we go ahead and pick a date now? We're saying we're not going to, but in the event that we do, we've already decided on the potential date.
Someone said they can't do Thursday, next Wednesday. Does that work?
Ray said
Well-
it had to be out Wednesday. Do we need to make it Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday may be rough for me. I'll be driving back from Steenhatchee, but I should be back. I might be back. I might be able to log in while I'm heading back because I won't be driving. Someone else will be.
Monday.
Okay. Tuesday if necessary.
Got to think positive. You won't have to.
Yeah, you got it. All right.
There you go.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody want to adjourn? A motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
I'm sorry, who was that?
It
Who was that? Was that
was a
Dave?
little-
It was fine.
Well, feel free to stay, Dave. We're all leaving. Or was that you, Kyle?
That was not me.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Good.
Bye.
Aye.
Take care. Bye.